I'm sure we all know and connect with the idea of metaphor, and for most of us, I suppose the very first metaphors that we had shared with us were Aesop's fables when we were at school. And certainly I remember, I suppose, being a small child and at times being quite confused by them, and the teacher at the time explaining actually the significance of of how it works. And of course now metaphor is just an everyday part of life that certainly as an adult we understand and we use and we play with. But actually those Aesop's fables had some real power in them, as they tell a universal story that at times we can all connect with. But Aesop, not only did he write the fables, but actually was quite a philosopher. And one of the great quotes that really always has stood the test of time with me from when I was literally a small child was that the power of gratitude turns what we have into enough. And in the last couple of days, with some of the coaching stuff that I've been doing, is actually what do we focus on? Do we focus on what we have, or do we focus on what we don't have right now? Do we focus on what we can do and what we can achieve, or do we focus on what we're missing out of? And my son has got this little phrase that he used to use, and he used to talk about the world being perfectica. And that isn't, necessarily always a play on the idea of things being perfect, but actually it kind of was. Because when we get used to focusing on what we don't have or chasing this sense of perfection, then that's always one day away. It's always one step away. It's always somewhere else. So actually, if perfection is always ever going to be tomorrow, what it means is that today is perhaps not as good as it could be, or today isn't good enough, and we end up living in this deferred place of always wanting to chase whatever the next thing is. And that's not to say that we shouldn't grow. I'm sure for those people who spent any time reading what I wrote and the things that I connect with, then they'll know that actually I use the phrase grow through life all the time. But actually connecting with what we have, connecting with actually what I have today is enough, and I'm completely grateful for that. Means that it gives me a firm foundation to build on in order to be able to grow tomorrow. And so today is perfect. I am grateful for all the things I have today, but tomorrow, because I can use what I've learnt today in order to grow and make a difference in it, tomorrow is perfectica. That's that version of perfect that I don't quite have access to. But if I was to live in tomorrow being perfect, then it means that today is somehow slightly less than perfect. And actually that doesn't quite work for me. But simply just sitting and being satisfied with what I have doesn't always necessarily inspire me to want to grow. So I am totally and utterly comfortable and completely grateful with what I have today. But actually it's how do I use that in order to be able to grow and be the best or a different or a better version of myself tomorrow. And so let's focus on perfectica, and maybe let's just think back to some of those stories we learnt as kids and be really playful and really grateful, and recognise that actually if I'm truly grateful for what I have today, then that tells me that today I am enough. How about you?